Shalom, Israel, giving our praises to the Most High and His beloved Son, Bliss. Kicking a shout out to the Facebook family and the YouTube family. Today, class, blow up the trumpet in the new moon. Today, we're going to cover a topic dealing with the new moon. Knowing when you look up the trumpet, when you deal with the shofar that Israel used, the shofars were used for many different things. One main thing was used for to give warning and awareness to form assembly, that also for celebration. So when you look up, blow up the trumpet in the new moon, this is the celebration of the new moon. What we're going to cover today, we're going to cover the celebration of the new moon. This is what Israel have to really come to the understanding. We have to examine the scripture and make sure we're walking in the way of righteousness. So when we look at celebrating the new moon, this is what we have to deal with. What phase of the moon is the new moon? Because we know in our captivity, we've been taught multiple things. But through the Spirit of the Most High, the Son, we're going to bring understanding to the people through the scriptures. So let's start out with the book of Proverbs, chapter 3, and we'll start at verse 5.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 3 and verse 5. Trust in the Lord.
Do what?
Trust in the Lord.
So now when we come into trying to edify our people, we must trust in the Most High God. That means we must come to these law, statutes, commandments that was only given to us. So read that again out.
Trust in the Lord with all thine heart.
With all your mind, read.
And lean not unto thine own understanding. In all thy ways acknowledge him.
In all thy ways acknowledge him. Read.
And he shall direct thy path.
In the process of doing this, we praying that we continue in the faith, the Most High God would direct our path. Read.
Be not wise in thine own eyes.
Read that again.
Be not wise in thine own eyes.
A lot of time our people lean to their own understanding. Read on.
Fear the Lord.
Do what?
Fear the Lord.
Okay.
And depart from evil.
And depart from evil. So, that being said, we're going to look into this topic now. Before we get started, I always like to say, before we get to cooking, I got to put some grease in the skillet. So let's start out. Give me Matthew chapter 4 and verse 4. And before we go to Matthew 4 and 4, the Spirit just brought me to this here. Give me James chapter 1 and verse 21. Just want to bring some understanding to it. As we come in today on the Shabbat, and we come to what we call the Holy Convocation according to the Scriptures, we have to understand to receive the words of the Most High God is a process of what we should be doing and how we should be preparing ourselves to receive the words of the Most High. Because a lot of times when I look at the world, I look at the things of the world, everything in your life you have a preparation for. If you go to work, you have a preparation of what you do. You get up at this time, you take your shower, what they say, the 3 S's, which y'all know. You do that, you get dressed, and then you go to work. Playing a sport, what you do? You get dressed, you warm up, you stretch, and then what? You do game preparation. Right. Same way with the Most High, dealing with His word. I'm going to show you. It's a preparation that you got to prepare for yourself to receive the words of the Most High God. Read that right quick,
guys. The book of St. James, chapter 1 and verse 21. Wherefore, lay apart all filthiness. So in the process of willing to receive the words of the Most High, you got to do what? Lay apart all filthiness. You got to lay apart anything that's not dealing with the oracles of the power. You got to let that go. What your grandmama said to you yesterday, you got to let that go. What your manager said to you last night, you got to let that go. You got to do what? Read that again. Wherefore, lay apart all filthiness. Okay. And superfluity of naughtiness. Of naughtiness. Anything that's not in righteous, it's not in the oracles of the power, you got to let that go. Clear your mind from that. Read. And receive with meekness. With what? With meekness. Come on now, read. The engrafted word. The what word? The engrafted word. Read on. Which is able to save your soul. So it's like, and I share this with my people, as you come into the Shabbat and you come to hear the words of the Most High God, you got to be willing to accept what is written. You got to be willing to prepare your mind to receive the words of the Most High God. It's like, as we go to Matthew 4 and 4, I just want to share this with you. I saw this before, and it's like paying money to go to a comedy show. And you go to a comedy show to do what, Laha? Laugh. To laugh. And you sitting there, and you doing everything in your will not to laugh. Come on, man. Some of our people do the same thing with the will of the Most High. That's right. You're not walking in the light. You're just going through the motion. You're going to hear the word, but you're not trying to embrace the word. Think about that. There's a shirt right there, Dad.
So let's go. Matthew chapter 4 and verse 4.
The book of St. Matthew, chapter 4 and verse 4. But he answered and said, it is written,
okay,
man shall not live by bread alone.
So Christ is speaking as he's being tempted, as he's being tried. Notice he came back to the scripture. He said it is what?
Man shall not live by bread alone.
Read on.
But by every word.
About what?
By every word that proceeded out of the mouth of God.
So by every word that proceeded out the mouth of the Most High God. This is what we should be living by. This is what's going to get you to everlasting salvation.
Right.
So when you think about what's going on, this is what we have to do. Clear your mind, and we know what we talked about. And as you say this, I want you to say it. Hear what we do. We have what we call a getting ready to receive the word, letting go of everything that we've been dealing with throughout the week. So when I ask my congregation, I want y'all to say it with your chest. Who am I? Who am I? Let's eat then. Let's eat. That being said, going back to this topic, what is the new moon? We're supposed to celebrate the new moon. We have to understand, when you're dealing with the new moon, you have 8 different phases of the moon. As us walking in righteousness, we got to figure out what phase of the moon that we should be celebrating. Some say the dark moon, some say the full moon. Islam, they deal with the crescent moon. But I'm going to show you through the Spirit how we going to get this understanding. Go ahead and give me Isaiah chapter 28 and verse 9. Oh, praise. Y'all sound good this week. Sound good. Say it with your chest. It's all right. Go ahead and read that.
The book of the prophet Isaiah, chapter 28 and verse 9. Whom shall he teach knowledge?
Okay.
And whom shall he make to understand doctrine?
So this is what we coming to now. We know we the Israelites. Now we got to understand what was only given to us. Let's see who is that person going to be.
Them that are weaned from the milk.
That weaned from the milk. Because we know the word is the sincere milk. The weaned from the milk, going to say you got to be weaned from your emotion. When it comes to the words of the Most High God, you got to stand fast on what it said. You got to stand fast and firm on what is written. No matter what your mama think, your daddy think, your husband or your wife think, you got to stand on the oracles of the power.
That's right.
So you got to be weaned from your emotion. You got to be weaned from all immortal thoughts. Read on.
And drawn from the breast.
Okay.
For precept.
Hold up. For what?
For precept.
Read.
Must be upon precept.
So precept must be upon precept. Read.
Precept upon precept. Line upon line.
Okay.
Line upon line. Here a little and there a little.
Here a little and there a little. So now that means we got to cover the old from the new, the whole volume of the Bible. That's how we get that understanding. Precept there, give me 2 Corinthians chapter 13 and verse 1. Precept must be upon precept. Never learned that in Christianity. Because guess what? Your pastor never taught precept upon precept. You can't teach what you're not following. Why we must do precept upon precept? We're going to precept that to show you why. Read that out.
The book of 2 Corinthians, chapter 13 and verse 1. This is the third time I am coming to you. In the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses.
In the mouth of what?
Of 2 or 3 witnesses.
Read on.
Shall every word be established.
So precept upon precept is just getting that firm foundation of what the Most High God is trying to say. Through the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses shall every word be established. Now we're going to keep that in mind as we go through this class today. We're going to keep that in mind. We must, to get any justification, we must have 2 or 3 witnesses to justify what is being said.
That's right.
So, all right, real quick, we're gonna go to the bell ringer now. your format, your paper here. Just show this to the people on social media. What we have right here is the phase of the moon. And then on the top of the paper, you see we have the full moon. Go ahead and read from full moon. We're gonna go from the top left, go counterclockwise. The 8 phases.
Full moon.
Waxing
gibbous moon.
Okay.
First quarter half moon.
So that's the half moon. Read.
Waxing crescent moon.
Okay.
New moon.
The new moon. Now I'm gonna show you something. I don't know if they see this, but according to what we have here in this captivity, Esau has represented the new moon as the dark moon. If you can see it at the bottom of the page, that is considered what they say is the new moon, but we're going to find out through the scriptures. Read on.
One in crescent moon. Last quarter half moon.
Okay.
Waning gibbous moon.
So as you see, as you go from that dark moon, it actually goes back into light. Read on.
Waning gibbous moon and the full moon.
And it goes back. So the moon rolls in a cycle pretty much of 8 phases. So that being said, I'm gonna show you something. Go ahead and turn to your next page. We're gonna read this right quick.
The full moon is the new moon.
Okay, so now we understand, but we got to precept this to bring justification to this. Read that again.
The full moon is the new moon.
All right.
The devil is a liar.
And we know who the devil is. Read on.
When the moon is in between the earth and the sun, it is called a new moon.
Understand, this is what we've been taught. This is going into Esau philosophy. This goes into pretty much Amalek. This is what they coming up with. Read on.
At this phase.
It say at this phase, this is what they saying. The new moon at this phase, read.
It can barely be seen.
It said it can barely be seen. That's going into this dark moon. Read.
And it's up during the day.
Okay, next.
3 or 4 nights after the new moon, the moon reaches waxing crescent.
Okay.
When the moon seems like it is getting bigger.
So now we're dealing with the waxing crescent. Read.
It is said to be waxing.
Okay.
At waxing crescent phase, the moon appears low in the sky and only a slice of it is bright.
Okay, read on.
A week after the new moon, the moon reaches its first quarter and half of it is illuminated. At waxing gibbous, most of the moon is visible and only a small part of the moon is in the shadow.
So this is half the moon now. Read on.
At full moon, the sun lights up the entire side of the moon that faces the earth. It is the brightest phase and marks the transition from the waxing phase to the waning phase.
So now we know the full moon is the brightest phase that marked the transition from the waxing phase. Read on.
After the full moon, the sun still illuminates more than half of the moon at waning gibbous.
Okay.
Now that the moon is waning, it looks like it is getting smaller day to day. With every day, the moon moves about 12 to 13 degrees.
So this is after you reach the full moon. Now it's degressing. Now it's getting smaller. Read on.
After waning gibbous, this change means the moon is at a third quarter and is half lit. At waning crescent, most of the moon is in darkness again. It resembles waxing crescent, except the other side of the moon is lit in this curved shape.
Okay.
Once this occurs, the 29.5 day cycle is complete, and it is the new moon again.
So this is what we're looking at. I know in Esau we're dealing with 28 days, 29 days, 30 days. Some months got 31 days, but roughly speaking, 29.5 is the cycle of the moon. Now, we read what we've been taught in our captivity, but now this is what we're going to go through now and figure this out. Give me Psalms chapter 82 and verse 2. Because the world has addressed the new moon in the format of the dark moon. Go ahead, Doc.
The book of Psalms, chapter 82 and verse 2. How long will you judge unjustly?
So this is David writing. He's addressing right now. Read that again.
How long will you judge unjustly?
Okay.
And accept the persons of the wicked?
And do what?
And accept the persons of the wicked.
If we believe in the Most High God, we got to come to his word. Because we now realize the people that's ruling over us do not love the Most High God. Actually hate the Most High God. So this is what you got to think about. Will the people that treated our ancestors wrong will ever teach us right? So this is what we got to think about. Read that again.
How long will you judge unjustly?
Okay.
And accept the persons of the wicked?
Whatever they taught us, we accept it. Read on.
Selah. Defend the poor and fatherless. Do justice to the afflicted and needy.
Only way we can defend the poor and the fatherless, we got to wake up and lean towards the oracles of the power. Read on.
Deliver the poor and needy. Ride them out of the hand of the wicked.
This is what we praying to do. Read.
They know not.
They what?
They know not.
Read.
Neither will they understand.
So this is what we have to realize. When we forsake to keep the commandments, we lost the understanding of everything that the Most High God gave to us. But read on.
They walk on in darkness.
We walk on in what?
In darkness.
Which is sin. Read.
All the foundations
This is part I want y'all to underline in your book. Read.
All the foundations.
All the foundation. Read.
Of the earth are out of course.
Come on now. Now we done put the grease in the skillet now. Let's get to rolling. Dealing with this moon. Let's go to the book of Genesis, chapter 1 and verse 14. Now, I want that to ring in your head. All the foundation of the earth is out of course. Keep that in mind as we build up the class.
The book of Genesis, chapter 1 and verse 14. And God said, let there be lights in the firmament of the heaven to divide the day from the night.
Okay.
And let them be for signs, and for seasons, and for days, and years.
So, we're talking about the sun, the moon, and also the stars. But it's addressing, let them be for a sign, and for seasons, and for days, and for years. Read on.
And let them be for lights in the firmament.
In the what?
In the firmament
Read on.
of the heaven to give light upon the earth.
So now we understand it. The moon and the sun was made to give light. Now, keep that in mind. Read.
And it was so. And God made two great lights.
He made what?
And made two great lights.
So now, this is the beginning. This is the creation of the sun and the moon. He said he made two great lights. Read on.
The greater light to rule the day.
Okay.
And the lesser light to rule the night.
Which is the sun and then the moon. Read.
He made the stars also. And God set them in the firmament of the heaven to give light upon,
to give what?
To give light
okay.
upon the earth.
Upon the earth. Read on.
And to rule over the day and over the night.
Okay.
And to divide the light from the darkness.
And to divide the light from the darkness. Read.
And God said that it was good.
All right. Now we're getting somewhere. Now, that being said, we understand the Most High God made the sun and the moon to provide light. To one rule over the day and one rule over the night. Now, let's give me Psalms chapter 89 and verse 34. So we have that understanding of the purpose of why the sun and the moon was made. We have that in the back of our mind. Hold on to that. We're going to build up. Read that out.
The book of Psalms, chapter 89 and verse 34. My covenant will I not break.
Hold up. Read that again.
My covenant will I not break.
Okay.
Nor alter the thing that is gone out of my lips.
So now we have to realize the Most High God through David is addressing his covenant, his agreement, the things that he set in place. He's not going to change them. It's set. It's not going to be removed. Read on.
Once I have sworn by my holiness.
Oh, now come on. He did what?
Once I have sworn by my holiness that I will not lie.
He will not what?
I will not lie.
Read.
Unto David. His seed shall endure forever, and his throne as the sun before me. It shall be established forever as the moon.
As the what?
As the moon.
Know the similitude of what the Most High God is addressing. It shall be established forever as the moon. Read.
And as a faithful witness in heaven, Selah.
So this is what's going on. Now we want y'all to take out of that precept there, going back up to the top. My covenant will I not break. Now, that being said, knowing he made the sun and the moon for a light, let's move forward. Give me 2nd Ezra, chapter 6 and verse 45. Because precept must be upon precept. Go ahead,
The book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 6 and verse 45. Upon the 4th day,
okay,
thou commandest that the sun should shine.
Now check this out. This is Ezra just requoting what Moses was addressing in Genesis. Precept upon precept. That's how we get understanding.
And the moon give her light.
So read it from the top again.
Upon the 4th day, thou commandest that the sun should give shine.
So he said he commanded that the sun should give shine. Read on.
And the moon give her light.
Okay.
And the stars should be in order.
And the stars should do what?
Should be in order.
Okay.
And gavest them a charge to do service unto man.
So understand, he said, and gave them a charge to do service unto men. Read on.
That was to be made. Upon the 5th day, thou saidst.
Hold up. I'm going to show you something. And gave them a charge to do service unto men. So the whole purpose was to give, like we read in Genesis. It's just Ezra reinsuring what was said in Genesis. The sun and the moon had a responsibility to do. And we just read that what he said cannot be broken. I'm going to show you something. We're going to come back to that, but let's go to Sirach, chapter 43 and verse 1 right quick. Matter of fact, go back to 45 right quick where we was at. Go ahead.
The book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 6 and verse 45. Upon the 4th day, thou commandest that the sun should shine.
Now, going into that, commanded that the sun should shine. I'm going to show you something. Read on.
And the moon give her light.
Uh-huh.
And the stars should be in order. And gavest them a charge to do service unto man.
So go ahead.
That was to be made.
So during the process of giving light, I just want to show you something. One thing about light, you got to deal with. Light is going into the perfection. So the sun and the moon perfection was to give light. When you look at perfection, perfection goes into the mindset of how can I break this down? It goes into the mindset of without flaw. If you was made to give light, your goal and your goal is the perfection of light is to be without flaw. So keep that in mind as we go into Sirach chapter 43 and 1 right now. So it's something to give light. It cannot be dim. It cannot be burned seen. Because the Most High made them to give that light. Read out.
The book of Sirach, chapter 43 and verse 1. The pride of the height, the clear firmament, the beauty of heaven.
Okay.
With his glorious shoot. The sun when it appeared.
Okay, when the sun when it appeared, read.
Declaring at his rising.
Hold up, read.
A marvelous instrument, the work of the Most High. At noon it parcheth the country.
Okay.
And who can abide in the burning heat thereof?
So this is the sun doing what it been called to do. Read.
A man blowing a furnace is in works of heat, but the sun burneth the mountains 3 times more.
Okay.
Breathing out of fiery vapors and sending forth bright beams.
Sending forth what?
Bright beams.
Okay.
It dimmeth the eye.
So this just going into the charge of what the sun was made to do. Read on.
Great is the Lord that made it, and at his commandment it runneth hastily.
Mm-hmm.
He made the moon also to serve in her season.
Okay, pay attention. He made the moon what?
Also to serve in her season.
Okay.
For a declaration
for
of
what?
A declaration
Read.
of time. And a sign of the world.
So now, this is what we coming to the understanding. The sun and the moon was made for a purpose. Now, the thing about it, when you go into declaration is going to goes into just being justified, being pretty much made known. So when you're dealing with declaration, this is something that it needs to be seen. It can't be dim. It can't be, well, I think it's there. It got to be obvious that it's there. So when you're going into the understanding, read verse 6 again.
He made the moon also to serve in her season for a declaration of time.
So declaration of time, justified, made clear, obvious is what it's saying. Read.
And a sign of the world.
Okay, now we're going to build up now. I'm going to show you something. Knowing that the moon was set to pretty much bring attention to the seasons, the time, and we read in Genesis that it declared the years and also something else we're going to get to. But I'm going to show you something, why that is so important. Give me Leviticus chapter 23 and give me verse 1 right quick. Because I'm trying to bring Israel to a point to understand this. If we are not actually celebrating and pretty much identifying and I'm going to say acknowledging the phase of the moon, which is the new moon, and we off on the phases, that means we off on the seasons, we off on the time, and we off on the dates. And guess what that leads to? That means we off on our celebrations. So I'm trying to bring some concerns about this and the importance of this. Read that right quick, out.
The book of Leviticus, chapter 23 and verse 1. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel.
Okay.
And say unto them, concerning the feast of the Lord.
So concerning the feast of the Lord, read.
Which ye shall proclaim to be holy convocations, even these are my feasts.
So now jump down to verse 4.
Verse 4. These are the feasts of the Lord, even holy convocations.
So understand, these feasts are holy convocation. Read.
Which ye shall proclaim in their season.
Which ye shall proclaim in their season. Read on.
In the 14th day of the first month.
Of the what?
Of the first month.
Keep that in mind. Read.
At even is the Lord's Passover.
So now, this is a commandment. One thing we realize about the Most High God, He gives straight commandments for us to follow. But I'm going to show you, crafty counsel is a problem. Because if you talk the wrong phase of the moon to celebrate and to identify with, it throws your whole feast days out. I'm going to show you something. Now let's go back into Sirach. Sirach, same chapter, 43, and we're going to go to verse 7 now.
The book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 43 and verse 7. From the moon is the sign of feast.
So it said the moon is the sign of feast. Read.
A light that decreases.
Hold up. A what?
A light that decreases.
Now check this out. I want y'all to look at your form now. If you look what's going on, a light, if you look at all the moons, we just said what is the meaning of perfection. When it say a perfection of light, that means it can't have no flaws in it. So what moon on her is truly showing the perfection of light? It's the full moon. So now read that again, verse 7.
From the moon is the sign of feast.
Okay.
A light that decreases in her perfection.
So now the perfection, as you see, is the full moon. There's no flaws in the full moon. But after the full moon, you see it start winding down. So it said in the perfection, read that again, that decreases what?
In her perfection.
So it said it decreases. As you look at the 8 phases of the moon, this is what's going on. Read on.
The month is called after her name.
So now we realize the new moon is actually mean new month. So the month is called after her name. Now we're going to read on.
Increasing wonderfully.
Doing what?
Increasing wonderfully.
So guess what? After it decreased, when you go back around the cycle, it does what?
Increasing wonderfully.
It say it increases wonderfully. Now, this just, I ain't going to say, common sense ain't always coming. We're going to lean towards the precept though. It said, read that again.
The month is called after her name, increasing wonderfully.
Okay.
In her changing.
In her what?
In her changing.
Notice it said increasing. We look at verse 7, because I know sometimes people, I talk to some brothers, they got confused about this. They said, well, it got to be the dark moon, because it said something about decreasing. But when it reached up to the full moon, it decreased. But then when you go to verse 8, it said what? Because it's always a cycle, y'all. So when it's at its fullest, which is perfection, it decreases, but guess what? As you come back around, read on.
The month is called after her name, increasing wonderfully.
Okay.
In her changing, being an instrument of the armies above.
Okay.
Shining.
Doing what?
Shining.
Hold up, wait a minute. I'm gonna look at this. Cause they say the dark moon is the new moon. It said what?
Shining.
Hold up, man. Hold up. Wait. Read that again.
Shining.
Okay. Go ahead.
In the firmament of heaven.
So, come on now. Now we're gonna precept this out. You know, at some point you should be able to just close the Bible. But we'll say we're gonna make sure every word is established. I'm gonna show you something. This crafty counsel. Give me 1 Corinthians chapter 40, verse 33. 14 to 33, Shalak. Because I want y'all to really think about what's going on. Some people say, man, I don't know why this matters. I'm gonna show you, man. If you ever seen I don't know y'all know anything about mechanics and all that. When you're dealing with screws and stuff, I used to tell my wife all the time. She said, baby, you finished putting that together? I said, yeah, I'm finished. She said, you got 4 screws over here laying on the floor. I said, well, nah, they give you the extra screws, you know, just in case you mess up or something. Now, that's me really saying I know I done messed up somewhere. But about 2 or 3 weeks later, you'll see whatever I build, it start leaning to the side that I ain't putting screws in. But what I'm trying to share with y'all, the element of sin, only thing they got to do is just move a couple things out the way. They don't got to move everything. Making us celebrate this dark moon is throwing us off.
That's right.
But I'm going to show you something. Read that out.
The book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 14 and verse 33. For God is not the author of confusion.
Come on now.
But of peace.
What?
But of peace.
Uh-huh.
As in all churches of the saints.
So when you think about what's going on, we're going to precept this out. Because this is what we got to do. Give me Proverbs chapter 2 and verse 6. Dealing with this new moon. Because I know a lot of brothers and sisters tell me, I celebrate the new moon. And then I said, oh, all praises. And then I look and I said, wait a minute, wait, this. And then I have to go back and ask, and I say, so what phase of the moon you calling new? Oh, the dark. Some say crescent. I said, oh, okay. That explains everything. So the Most High is not the author of confusion. But this is what's going on. Read.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 2 and verse 6. For the Lord giveth wisdom.
Hold up, read.
For the Lord giveth wisdom. Out of his mouth cometh knowledge and understanding.
So out of his mouth, that means we got to come to this Bible. We can't come and grab one precept and think we're going to just, and I share this with everybody. We're going to go through this class, and I'm going to give y'all these precepts that y'all can have understanding. But I'm going to be honest with you. Everybody I talk to, they celebrate the dark moon. I asked them, I said, have you done a class on it? What are your precepts on it? And they'll give me one precept. Come on now. Read that again.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 2 and verse 6. For the Lord giveth wisdom. Out of his mouth cometh knowledge and understanding.
Now jump over, give me Proverbs 18 and 15 right quick. So knowing out of his mouth come knowledge and understanding, we must follow the guideline that we read in Isaiah 28 and 9 and 10. Precept must be upon precept. Read that right quick.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 18 and verse 15. The heart of the prudent.
Hold up. So it said the mind of the prudent, pretty much of the righteous, the one that's going to take, I'm going to say, precaution in every aspect of their walk. Read.
Get it knowledge.
They going to do what?
Get it knowledge.
Read on.
And the ear of the wise seek it knowledge.
And the ear of the wise, as we receive knowledge, we're going to continue to seek that knowledge. We're not going to just run with every blown wind of doctrine that we've been told. Hold up, man. You tell, and we're going to get there, but if you tell me you celebrate the dark moon, brothers and sisters, you got to show me why you do that. If you, especially you want me to deal with you, you got to show me. But when I ask and you say, well, hey, it's a problem. But this is the thing about it. Out of love through the Spirit, this is where we got to be meek, because the Bible tells us iron sharpens iron. And this is what we have to understand. They say we prophesy in parts. No one have 100% of the truth. But we got to stay meek and humble to be able to take correction if correction is needed.
That's right.
So let's move forward now. Give me that Exodus chapter 20 and verse 1 right quick. Exodus chapter 12 and 1. Let's build up a little more. Go ahead.
The book of Exodus, chapter 12 and verse 1. And the Lord spake unto Moses and Aaron in the land of Egypt, saying, this month shall be unto you the beginning of months.
So now we're looking at this. I'm trying to show you we was brought out of bondage to serve the Most High God. He say this month. Now we know new moon represents new month. Read.
It shall be the first month of the year to you.
Okay.
Speak ye unto all the congregation of Israel, saying, in the 10th day of this month they shall take to them every man a lamb.
So check this out. Hold fast. Give me Exodus chapter 13 and verse 3 right quick. Because I want to capitalize back on verse 2. It says, this month shall be unto you the beginning of months. Now, doing things decently in order, we got to examine. Knowing new moon mean new month, we got to make sure we celebrating the right phase of the moon. Go ahead. Where we at?
The book of Exodus, chapter 13 and verse 3. And Moses said unto the people, remember this day in which ye came out from Egypt, out of the house of bondage.
Okay.
For by strength of hand the Lord brought you out from this place. There shall be no leavened bread be eaten.
Okay, you did it with going into the Passover. Read.
This day come ye out of the mouth of Abib.
So the month of Abib goes into pretty much ear of corn. That goes into the new year. Now, let's go back into Sirach now, chapter 39 and verse 12. So I'm trying to show y'all the importance of, if our feast days is set by the months, we must make sure, because we know new moon is new month, we must make sure we're following the right phase of the moon. I'm going to show you. Sirach chapter 39 and verse 12. Read.
The book of Sirach, chapter 39 and verse 12. Yet have I more to say, which I have thought upon. For I am filled as the moon at the full.
At the what?
At the full.
Now I'm going to show you precept upon precept where every time our forefathers spoke about the moon, they never represented a dark moon. They never represented a crescent moon. But guess who represents the dark moon? Guess who represents the crescent moon? Come on now. Read on.
Hearken unto me, ye holy children.
So he's speaking now. I want to go back up to verse 12. Because when he's speaking to his people. Ye holy children. Read on.
And bud forth as a rose growing by the
Hold up. Bud forth as a rose. That means a blossom rose. A open rose. That goes back into perfection. What we just said about perfection. Perfection means pretty much without flaw. Read on.
By the brook of the field.
By the brook of the field. Now, we're going to precept this out because I'm going to show you every time our ancestors, forefathers was dealing with the moon, what phase of the moon was they dealing with? Give me Job chapter 31 and verse 29. And I talk to Israel because I teach towards Israel, and it's all love. But if you celebrating the dark moon, you got to precept it out for them. We can sit down and chop it up. But don't just come with that little notebook paper with one precept on it. We can't do it like that, man. Yeah, 31 and 26. Because we're gonna precept upon precept. Here a little and there a little.
That's right.
Read.
The book of Job, chapter 31, verse 26. If I beheld the sun when it is shining.
Hold up. So now we talking about the sun. When he beheld the sun when what?
When it is shining.
Okay.
Or the moon walking in brightness.
And the moon walking in what?
In brightness.
No, darkness out.
In brightness.
The crescent moon.
In brightness.
Okay. Every concept of this moon that our forefathers talk about, they were speaking about the full moon. All right. Okay. We're gonna that's not enough. That's not enough. Give me Habakkuk chapter 3 and verse 11. Because the dark moon in here, bro. I know it's in here. Our forefathers mess with that dark moon, bro. We gonna find it. If they were, we gonna find it. All right. Okay. Habakkuk chapter 3 and 11. All right. Go ahead.
The book of Habakkuk, chapter 3 and verse 11. The sun and moon stood still in their habitation.
Which you know in the firmament, read.
At the light.
Oh, okay.
Of thine arrows they went.
Hold up. At the light. Okay, read.
Of thine arrows they went. And at the shining.
At the what?
And at the shining.
Read.
Of thy glittering spear.
Come on now. Okay, that wasn't it either. That wasn't the dark moon. Huh? Okay. Now, let's go into Psalms chapter 81, verse 81 and 3 right quick. Now we're going to go to the title of the class. Was our forefathers dealing with the dark moon? Was they dealing with the crescent moon? Israel, we got to come on with it, man. We got to come with it. Read that out.
The book of Psalms, chapter 81 and verse 3. Blow up the trumpet.
So now we dealing with the trumpets. Like I said before, the trumpets at this point is representing the celebration. Celebration goes into the understanding, acknowledging a significant event, a happy day, or a celebration. Usually it's celebrated with a congregation or a social congregation, and it's filled with activities and pretty much fellowship. So blowing this trumpet is going into celebrating. Read that again.
Blow up the trumpet.
Read.
In the new moon.
So it says celebrate the new moon. Read on.
In the time appointed.
Okay.
On our solemn feast days.
So on our solemn feast days, because we know new moon mean new month. This is how we calculate the month. When the Most High God tells us on the first month, on the 14th day, and you celebrate the dark moon, you're going to be off.
That's right.
You celebrate the crescent moon, you're going to be off. Read on.
For this was a statute for Israel.
Hold up. Statute means law. For this is a what?
A statute for Israel.
But what nation doing the crescent moon? If they Israel, they're not. We got to be careful what we following. Who's doing it? Who taught us the dark moon? Was they Israel? Come on, man. Good. We learn these things in our captivity. But he said, read verse 4 again.
For this was a statute
for law, Israel. Read.
For Israel. And a law of the God of Jacob.
Come on now. So, all right, okay. This might not be enough. But in the process of what we should be doing, give me Judges 5 and 11. Because if we're supposed to be doing what Judges 5 and 11 say, I'm going to let Doc read that. Go ahead.
The book of Judges, chapter 5 and verse 11. They that are delivered from the noise of archers.
So this is going into us coming pretty much into who we are now, delivered for the noise of archers and going to several things from the philosophies that we've been taught in this captivity, from the bombs that's going to hit America. Read.
In the places of drawing water.
Drawing water just goes into the place of your captivity. The place of your servitude. Read.
There shall they rehearse the
Hold
righteous.
Hold up. He said, in that place of your captivity, there what?
There shall they rehearse.
Hold up. Shall what?
Shall they rehearse?
So the thing about we going to rehearse is going to put into practice. Read.
The righteous acts of the Lord. Even the righteous acts toward the inhabitants of the villages in Israel. So now we know the thing that I was reading the 4 times, was reading for our learning. So to be rehearsing the righteous act, we got to see was our forefathers celebrate the dark moon. And if so, we got to precept that bad boy out. We just can't go to what we think or what we thought about or what somebody said. So, rehearsing the righteous act. Give me Isaiah chapter 30 and verse 26. How can you rehearse a righteous act and you celebrating the dark moon? This is what we have to take into consideration. Isaiah 30 and verse 26. Go ahead, the book of the prophet Isaiah, chapter 30 and verse 26. Moreover, the light of the moon shall be as the light of the sun. And the light of the sun shall be sevenfold.
Now, I'm going to show you what we're dealing with. This is when the Most High God brings us out of captivity. This is justifying how the moon and the sun going to be in the kingdom. Read verse 26 again so they have a good understanding.
Moreover, the light of the moon.
So the light of the moon, when we get back into rulership, because we just read, remember we read in Psalm 82, verse 5, that the whole world, the whole foundation is out of course. When we get back in rulership, this is what's going to happen. Read that again.
Moreover, the light of the moon shall be as the light of the sun.
It said the light of the moon, because guess what? We're not going to have no chemtrail. We're not going to have all the toxin and pollution in the earth no more. So it said the light of the moon shall be the light of the sun. So the moon going to be at what? At its fullest. This is in the kingdom. Come on, now read.
And the light of the sun shall be sevenfold.
Beautiful, man. Read on.
As the light of 7 days.
As the light of 7 days. Read.
In the day that the Lord bindeth up the breach of his people.
This just confirming that this, after he brings us out of this bondage. Read on.
And heal the stroke of their wound.
And he going to do what?
Heal the stroke of their wound.
So this is future prophecy. Once again, this is not talking about a dark moon. This is talking about the moon being at their highest perfection. Now, let's go forward. Let's move forward. Give me Baruch chapter 6 and verse 60 right quick. Dealing with this moon. Through thy precepts I get understanding, Israel. And I ain't too hard to get along with, but like my grandmama say, you can't pee on my foot and tell me it's raining. I'm just not that type of person. But I'm humble enough to be like, okay, I'm gonna look into that. I'm gonna get back with you. You know? So let's go ahead.
The book of Baruch, chapter 6 and verse 60.
Let's see what Baruch talking about.
For sun, moon, and stars.
Being
bright.
Being what?
Being bright.
Hold up, now read on.
And sent to do their offices.
So when the Most High made these things, he never made them to be justified in darkness. He said that, hey, he made them to rule over the day and the night. Read.
Are obedient.
They are what?
Are obedient.
Come on now, read.
In like manner.
So in roughly speaking, a dark moon is kind of disobedient. Come on, just a minute. Go ahead.
The lightning, when it breaketh forth, is easy to be seen.
Hold up, wait a minute. If the Most High God tell us to celebrate the new moon, read verse 61 again.
In like manner, the lightning when it breaketh forth.
When it breaketh forth, now he tell us that celebrate, we read that in Psalm, the new moon, which is new month. Now read that again.
In like manner, the lightning when it breaketh forth is easy to be seen.
No, the dark moon.
It's easy to be seen.
The crescent moon.
It's easy to be seen.
Come on now, read on.
And after the same manner, the wind bloweth in every country.
So, dealing with this moon is easy to be seen. The Most High God do not play semantics with his people. Why he gonna tell your moon that you can't even see? Right. Hey man, I need y'all to celebrate the dark moon. Lord, where is that? You figure it out. Come on, man. Man might play like that, but the Most High don't play like that, man.
That's good.
Let me show you something. Let me show you. Give me Daniel chapter 7 and verse 25, man. Why we've been trained to celebrate the dark moon. Let the Bible talk. I'm going to tell you, I pray our people wake up, man. But what it say, they that have ear, let them hear. Read that out.
The book of the prophet Daniel, chapter 7 and verse 25. And he shall speak great words against the Most High.
So what nation of people doing this? Speaking great words against the Most High. Read.
And shall wear out the saints of the Most High.
The 12 tribes of Israel, we are the saints. How did he wear us out? Through captivity, through hard bondage. Read on.
And think to change time.
Hold up. And do what?
And think to change time.
Now, when we read this in Christianity, we didn't understand the moon give the ordinance to set the time, to set the feast days, to set all the high holy days, and the new year. So when you look at this, how did he change time? Told you the crescent moon. Told you the dark moon is the new moon. Come on, man. This is crafty counsel. Read.
And think to change times and laws.
Okay.
And they shall be given into his hand until a time, and times and the dividing of time.
350 years, man. But now we waking up. We are waking up now. Now, when he said, and pretty much goes into that understanding, change time and laws, I'm going to show you how he did this. Give me Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 14 and verse 16 right quick. Dealing with this dark moon. How did he do this, man? Like I said, you only got to take a couple screws out. And in due time, that shelf will start leaning. It might don't lean right off, but it will in due time. Read that
The
out.
book Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 14 and verse 16. Thus, in process of time.
In the process of time, us celebrating, I ain't gonna lie, in our captivity, we weren't really celebrating no moon. But then, when we came into the understanding, we started celebrating the dark moon. Come on, man. Read on.
Thus, in process of time, an ungodly custom.
Hey, what?
An ungodly custom.
Come on now.
Grown strong was kept as a law.
Was kept as a law.
And graven images were worshipped by the commandments of kings.
So, dealing with that situation, that's when you look at Islam, even when you look at the shrine of the Mason, what they have on their head, the crescent moon. Come on, man. So, this is an ungodly custom. Now, get into the understanding now, because I know somebody said, man, the dark moon is in the Bible. You're right. But we're going to bring the understanding what the dark moon represents. It don't represent the new moon, and it does not represent the new month. Give me Joel chapter 2, and we'll start at verse 10. Because I did my homework, Israel. You know, I definitely try to make sure I'm on point with the precepts so I can edify the people. Dealing with the dark moon. When you deal with the dark moon, every time the Bible spoke about a dark moon, I'm going to show you what they were talking about. Read that out.
The book of the prophet Joel, chapter 2 and verse 10. The earth shall quake before them.
Okay.
The heavens shall tremble.
The heavens shall what?
The heavens shall tremble.
Read on.
The sun and the moon shall be dark.
So now, we got it. Somebody excited on social media. I told you it was in there. I'm going to show you what they're talking about. I'm going to show you. Read that again,
The earth shall quake before them.
Okay.
The heavens shall tremble. The sun and the moon shall be dark.
So the sun and the moon shall be dark. Read on.
And the stars shall withdraw their shining.
Read on.
And the Lord shall utter his voice before his arm.
Okay.
For his camp is very great.
Uh-huh.
For he is strong that executed his word.
Okay.
For the day of the Lord is great and very terrible.
And very what?
And very terrible.
Read on.
And who can abide it?
So every time the Bible talks about the moon being dark, it's talking about what? Which is judgment. So it's no word it say celebrate this dark moon. When it talk about the dark moon and the dark sun, it's talking about judgment being brought upon the nation. Oh man, you got a precept there. I'm glad you said that. Give me Joel 3 and 15.
The book of the prophet Joel, chapter 3 and verse 15. The sun and the moon shall be darkened.
Shall be what?
Shall be darkened.
Read on.
And the stars shall withdraw their shine.
Now, give me Revelation 8 and 12 right quick. So this is talking about judgment, man. This is not talking about celebrating. This is not talking about this is a new month. This is talking about judgment. But Israel, man, we run with a lot of things without examining, man. Read that up.
The book of Revelation, chapter 8 and verse 12. And the fourth angel sounded, and the third part of the sun was smitten.
Was what?
Was smitten.
So the third part of the sun was smitten, read. So it wasn't that bright, read.
And the third part of the moon, and the third part of the stars.
So when you look at that and you go into the third part of the moon, that goes back into that crescent moon. So it wasn't at its full perfection. It was darkened, read.
So as the third part of them was darkened, and the day shone not for a third part of it, and the night likewise.
Once again, dealing with the dark moon, it's talking about judgment. It's not talking about celebrating. It's not talking about new moon, new month. It's not the dark moon. Give me Isaiah chapter 5 and verse 20, because this is what's going on. When you think about what we was taught, that's why when you read that, and I think, what's that, Romans 12 and 2, I think, renewing your mind. This is what we have to do, Israel. But check this out. Read that out.
The book of the prophet Isaiah, chapter 5 and verse 20. Woe unto them that call evil good.
Because when you think about what's going on, when you think about a full moon, when you was back in the world, what you were told about a full moon, Boaz? Werewolves, right? Yeah. Oh, man, it's a full moon tonight, man. I'm going to stay in the house. Come on, man. Read that part again.
Woe unto them that call evil good.
Because guess what? The full moon, that's a good thing. The children of Israel supposed to be celebrating it.
Hey, also, on there, man, a lot of times, you know, it be a lot of wickedness going on. That man must be a full moon tonight.
There you go. Yeah. What does the Bible say?
Woe unto them that call evil good.
Then let's go back into what we read in 82 and 5. The whole course is upside down. Come on, man. Because I was the same thing, Bo. I was in the Boy Scouts, so full moon, I was nervous. I'm looking for werewolves. I'll tell you, that's what we've been taught. That's why the Bible, man, this is our wisdom, man, but we got to come back to it. Read that again.
Woe unto them that call evil good, and good evil, that put darkness for light.
They did what?
That put darkness for light.
Come on, man.
And light for darkness.
Come on, I'm just sharing this with y'all. Y'all, when you walk in the spirit, man, the Most High God reveal all things. Yeah. And I love my people, and like I say, I understand people get confused and things happen, but I always tell my brothers and sisters, we gotta stay meek towards the scripture. If a person giving you precept upon precept, line upon line, how can you fight against that? And if you fighting against that, give me 19:27 Luke. Because if you fighting against that, if a brother giving you precept upon precept, line upon line, you're not actually fighting against that brother. This is what you're fighting against. Read that out.
This is the book of Luke, chapter 19, verse 29.
27.
27, Shalaka. But those mine enemies.
This Christ speaking right now. Let's see why he called, and he ain't talking to the other nation, because he was at this point he was amongst the Jews.
That's right.
And what did Christ say?
Which would not.
Hold on, go back to the top. What?
But those my enemies.
Why would Christ say, hold up, man, I'm amongst my people, but y'all my enemy? Let's see why. Read on.
Which would not that I should range over them.
You don't want to follow the law, statute, commandments. You don't want to precept upon precept, line upon line. Read.
Bring hither.
What did he say?
Bring hither.
Read.
And slay them before me.
Come on, man. This is what's going on. When you getting edified precept upon precept, but you still like, oh, no. You're not going against man. You're going against the all power.
That's right.
Now, go back to what we had over here.
The book of the prophet Isaiah, chapter 5 and verse 20.
21.
Verse 21. Woe unto them that are wise in their own eyes.
Because this is what our people do. They wise in their own eyes, bro. We've been doing the dark moon. That's just what we going to keep doing. Well, man, that ain't scripture, though. Read that again.
Woe unto them that are wise in their own eyes, and prudent in their own sight.
They prudent in their own sight. It's not thus say the Lord. I'm going to show you something. Let's move forward. Give me Isaiah 29 and 15 right quick. Because when you think about what nation in rulership, the Most High God, he will speak on this. But we got to hearken and stay humble to the scriptures to be able to see these things. Because guess what? Read that out.
The book of the prophet Isaiah, chapter 29 and verse 15. Woe unto them that seek deep to hide their counsel from the Lord.
Hold up, man. What nation of people is doing this? Is it the so-called black man? I think not. Is it the so-called Hispanics, Native Americans? Cause when I'm gonna show you what they read that again out.
Woe unto them.
It's a destruction unto them. Read.
That seek deep.
That seek deep. Read.
To hide their counsel.
Hold up. To have any type of counsel when you're dealing with a nation of people, to have counsel over the world, you have to be in rulership. So this is what's going on. The Most High God is revealing even what our enemy has done to us. So read that again.
Woe unto them that seek deep to hide their counsel from the Lord.
Come on now, read.
And their works are in the dark.
Are in the what?
Are in the dark.
That's why we people celebrate the dark moon. Read.
And they say, who seeth us?
What they say?
Who seeth us?
What Esau saying?
Who seeth us?
Come on now, read.
And who knoweth us?
And who knoweth us? Read on.
Surely your turning of things upside down.
Oh, hold up. Precept right there in your Bible. That goes with Psalms 82 and 5.
Right.
Now read on.
Surely your turning of things upside down shall be esteemed as the potter's clay.
Come on, it's gonna come to light. We gonna wake up. We gonna stop listening to the rudiments of this world, and we gonna come back to the oracles of the all power. Read on.
For shall the work say of him that made it, he made me not?
Okay.
Or shall the thing framed say of him that framed it, he had no understanding?
Come on now. This is what we have to come to grasp with. Precept upon precept. How can we change things back around? Give me Romans 3 and 4 right quick. If everything is upside down, I think the first thing we have to realize as we come into this truth, come back to our inheritance, that man, everything is jacked up. Some of our people, and I hate to say it like that, they program on stupid. They don't want to let go of what they've been taught here. They just don't want to let it go. 3 and 4. Romans.
The book of Romans, chapter 3 and verse 4. God forbid.
Okay.
Yea, let God be true.
This is the only way we going to change the foundation back around to its righteous manner. The children got to wake up. The children of Israel got to start being obedient to the Most High God. This is the only way we're going to change the game back around. Read that again.
God forbid. Yea, let God be true, but every man a liar. As it is written, that thou mightest be justified.
That we might be what?
Be justified.
That means approved. Read.
In thy saying.
This is the only way we're going to be approved in our saying. We got to speak the oracles of the power. If it's not written in this book, if you can't precept upon precept, you need to let it go. Read on.
And mightest overcome when thou art judged.
This is what we pray in Israel. We got to come back to what is written. It ain't me. I'm just a vessel up here giving you the word. This is the Most High God doing. People talk about this, but do they ever really stand on this? See, the thing is, give me 1 Thessalonians chapter 5 and verse 19. Because when you think about this, Israel, a lot of people quote scripture, but they don't stand on it. If you quote it, you got to stand on it. You can't quote a precept and then do contrary to the precept.
That's right. The book of 1 Thessalonians, chapter 5 and verse 19. Quench not the spirit.
So understand the Most High God is addressing. Don't quench the spirit. You got to keep feeding the spirit. How can you feed the spirit? You got to feed the spirit what is spiritual. What is spiritual? These laws, statutes, commandments. Read on.
Despise not prophesy.
Hold up. Do what?
Despise not prophesy.
We can't despise it. Stay meek towards the scripture. Read.
Prove all things.
What does the Bible say?
Prove all things.
So in the process of whatever you going through or whatever you heard, it got to be proven. Precept upon precept, line upon line. Read.
Hold fast.
Hold up. Do
Hold
what?
fast.
Read on.
That which is good.
And guess what? If you cannot prove what you celebrating, you cannot prove what you living on, the Most High God say don't deal with it. Right. You need to hold fast to what you do know. I'm going to celebrate this, but I'm not sure about it. Well, why you celebrating it, sis? Why you celebrating it out? The Most High God say hold fast to what is good. This is what we have to take into consideration. As we come to an end, give me Isaiah chapter 8 and verse 20 now. Because we dealing with going through the precepts, all through the Bible, it speaks about the new moon is the full moon. But some people speak different from the scripture. And when that's done, this is what's going on. Read out.
The book of the prophet Isaiah, chapter 8 and verse 20. To the law
okay.
and to the testimony.
This is what we have to realize. To the law and to the testimony. When it's dealing with the oracles, when it's dealing with what is written, we got to stand firm on it. Read.
If they speak.
Hold up. Wait a minute. If they what?
If they speak, not according to this word.
Because no word say celebrate the dark moon. Read.
It is because there is no light.
No what?
No light in them.
Come on now. Come on, man. Now, last precept, and we're going to end out. Give me 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, and we're going to do verse 4 and 5. When I look at this situation, why do we celebrate the dark moon? A lot of times, we haven't came to grasp that we are the children of the light. Why would the children of the light celebrate darkness? Come on now. Read that out.
The book of 1 Thessalonians chapter 5 and verse 4. But ye brethren are not in darkness.
Okay.
That the day should overtake you as a thief.
Understand, darkness goes into the similitude of sin as well, that's what it's talking about. But it say, but ye brethren are not in darkness, not in sin.
That's right.
You celebrating the dark moon that is not in the scripture, bro. You in sin. Read on.
Ye are the children of the light.
What are we?
Ye are the children of the light.
Come on now, read.
And the children of the day. We are not of night.
We are not of what?
Not of the night.
Read on.
Nor of darkness.
Nor are darkness, nor are we in sin. So I pray through the edification of the scripture, through the Spirit of the Most High and His Son, that we have understanding. Dealing with the new moon, it is the full moon.
That's right.
And that is the perfection of what the full moon is. And on that, Israel, we say, Shalom.
Shalom.
Oh boy. Yeah. Words could never say. I love this truth. I can't believe we the chosen. We gonna make it. Just hold on. Yeah. This little light, I'ma let it shine. Alright. This is the moment I waited for my whole life. Yeah. Just a vessel for His glory, let it shine. Alright, Father, shine your light on me. Yeah. Let it shine. Thankful for this life, cause it was never